God damn it. Son of a bitch. Ah, fucking hell. People dancing in the street. Look at that. Must love people dancing in the street. Who doesn't love people dancing in the street? Oh, I forgot. None of you. Oh, well. I am ready for a bong hit. That's how I'm doing. How about you? I am ready for a bong hit. That sounds good to me. Okay, so let's see. We got, I have a bunch of videos. I have so many videos, I had to cancel some of them because they wouldn't all fit. They wouldn't all fit on the computer. So I had to go, oh, I can only do 14 videos. Dang. Including a local police drug unit has been disbanded because the city DA refuses to work with them because they're garbage human beings. Local drug unit, police drug unit disbanded for the second time in 3 months. And then, of course, we have all the lovely people. Where's that at? Kentucky, Louisville, working it. And we watched last night. We watched tens of thousands of people in Portland protest quite peacefully for hours and hours and hours. Which was nice, right? I mean, it's nice seeing people out in the streets and marching and coming together. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I think it's a beautiful thing. I don't know how you guys can't think it's not a beautiful thing. I am totally in love with this. Otherwise, I'd play something else for a background. But I want to make sure we all know what is happening. Because apparently some of us don't get what's happening. The people are standing there with their hands up, and the cops are brutalizing them. Which isn't something new. We've watched this happen for decades in this country, if not longer. So, you know, it makes sense that people are like, enough already, right? There's my girl. She's my girl. What a pretty girl you are. It's much cooler downstairs, girl. It's like 1,000,000 degrees here today. It's going to get even worse next week. I think it's like 86 or something like that. 86 degrees, like 1,000,000. Might as well be 1,000,000 degrees. Might as well be living on the sun. I didn't care how much they cried, no. Power to the people. Because all these people are shining lasers. So they deserve to go to jail. Yeah. How about the cops who shoot people? How about the cops who throw flashbang grenades at people? How about the cops who fucking use chemical weapons on people? They just get off scot-free? They don't have to go to jail? Because there's a lot of cops that are fucking with a lot of good people for absolutely no reason except for they can. And you stupid cunts act like you don't get it. A lot of cops fucking with a lot of good people because they can. That's the only reason. Because they're garbage human beings and they can get away with fucking with people. That's who the police are in this country. Ask anybody. We all know the truth. What's up, baby girl? Yeah, the cops are bad, huh? Yeah, cops are bad. Woo! Oh, baby. Now I'm feeling much better now. All right. I am not for sale in that way. I don't do things for money. You can't afford me. If I did do things for money, you wouldn't be able to afford me. So it doesn't make sense to do things for money, does it? Does it? Jump through this hoop, Mike. I'll give you money. You know what? I'm here day after day, fucking jumping through hoops, fucking providing a service. But no, you gotta jump through this hoop and maybe we'll give you $100. It's real nice of you guys. It's real nice. You know, night after night, 7 p.m. sharp, I'm here. I'm making sure you guys know that the protests are still going on. I'm making sure you guys know that the protests are peaceful. We see it night after night. Night after night, I'm here, showing you the truth. Even though people don't want to see it, don't want to see the truth, I'm here showing it. Night after night. There's the people. There they are. And they're beautiful people. They're not criminals. They don't deserve federal police fucking bullying them because our fucking petty tyrant commander-in-chief thinks he can get away with that. Because he really can't. So you know. And those federal officers will be run out of Portland quite soon. I will bet on it. The little punk-ass, greasy motherfucker that's the acting head of the Department of Homeland Security, that guy is one douchey-looking piece of crap, right? We're not going anywhere. Oh, calling our officers, stormtroopers, and Gestapo. What's he been listening to my channel? That's offensive. Well, fuck you. You like that better? Piece of shit, fucking garbage, DHS secretary, acting secretary. You are a greasy fucking low-life scumbag who needs to go back to the hole that you climbed out of and stay there forever. Cops. Cops beat up on people and protect people who kill. Serial killers. Cops protect serial killers in their own ranks that they know will kill again and are looking forward to it. Cops circle around them and protect them like they're fucking rabid dogs protecting their fucking queen. That's who piece of shit cops are, so we're clear about what they do for this country. And if you don't know that, it's just sad. What's up, baby girl? What's up, little baby girl? Oh, man. Okay. Now, videos. I have videos to play for you. This is, there's no one calling. If anybody wants to call, the number is 805-669-6397. You can call anytime. There are videos I have for you. The Philippines dictator is announcing that he can arrest anyone that has symptoms, minor symptoms, the sniffles of COVID-19. Throw them in jail. That's who the Philippines dictator. He's gonna start, and if you're not wearing a mask, you go to jail. And if you're deathly ill, you go to jail. So he's gonna just throw a bunch of people in jail and leave them there to die with all the fucking COVID patients, because that's what dictators do. That's what the piece of garbage in the Philippines is. Low life fucking. Oh man, as soon as that person is removed from the planet, it will be such a better place. The earth will be a better place just because this one low-life scumbag piece of crap is removed from the planet. So, please, Filipinos, get rid of that piece of garbage president, dictator who calls himself a president. ASAP. Let's see. China re-education camps, which is what apparently you guys want here, is re-education camps for all these protesters because you don't believe in freedom and you'd much prefer to live in China, where that's what we do to people who don't conform. Right? Right? Isn't that what you want? Why can't we be more like China? That's what I keep hearing from you fucking cunts. So you know, why can't we be more like China? They're fascist and communist, but we want to be more like China. More police state, we need more police state, less protesting, more police state. Fuck. What is wrong with you? I'm so afraid right now. There's little girls in short shorts on the screen marching through the streets. How can we have this in America? The fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. Oh, and Trump sending in the feds. Oh, the head of the SPD, Seattle Police Department, Police Union, has been caught falsifying his election registration documents. So you know. Hello, caller.
Good morning, Michael.
What's happening?
Tuesday, baby. Tuesday is happening.
Tuesday is trash night. Gotta take the trash out tonight.
You too. Oh, fuck. We got the same trash day. We're connected on the astral plane, man.
Coincidence? I think not.
Tuesday night. They picked up Wednesday morning.
There you go.
It's more than a coincidence. It's communism. That's what it is. Communism. Yeah, the fucking Filipinos, they love Duterte, though, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. They're these fucking people. Every single Filipino that you talk to will tell you that they are a God-fearing person, And to fear God means that your brain doesn't work right. Because God provides every single thing that you have, if you actually believe in a God, right? So why would you fear that person unless you got some fucked up shit going on in your head?
Well, I kind of know Filipinos pretty good, and you got me there, man. They march people through the streets once a year with crucifixes, and then they tie them up to the cross.
Every single one of them. I am a God-fearing person. I'm going to tell you. And I tell you, I see people with signs at festival that says, "Fear God." I walk up and I say, "Do not fear God." Because it's just plain stupid. Anybody that fears God is just like, isn't God what gave you everything, including your fucking life? Why would you fear God? It's stupid.
Well, they got Buddhists in the Philippines also, and they got Muslims down south. So they're kind of a mixed up country religiously, But yeah, as far as Duterte goes, I don't necessarily. I think the reason they like him is because he's kicking America out, and they see America as a user, someone that has used them for a long time, and they feel like they're an American colony. They love Americans. They love cowboys. They love white guys with manners, But I can't attest to their citizen bravery. They're not brave. They're not like us. They won't stand up against their government. They've already accepted the government yoke, which is the difference between you and me and most Filipinos. It's like we fight for our freedom, and they just say, "Well, there's nothing I can do." But
well, yeah, he'll fucking you do something and he'll arrest you or fucking pull you out of your house and call you a drug dealer and shoot you in the head right in the middle of your fucking street, in the middle of your neighborhood.
Yeah, sometimes there's been situations where that has happened. Yeah, he's not. He's definitely a strong man, but I mean, I got a lot of compassion for the Filipinos.
All right, the back of that car right there, that red car in Louisville, looked like it had dozens and dozens and dozens of cartons of eggs. In case anybody's wondering, they're not. I don't know why they're not showing the bottom of that car now. But in the back of it, right below it, let's see, it looks like there's a whole bunch of something white down there in the bottom of it, and a bunch of people came over and just started grabbing handfuls of stuff. So I think it's eggs. Pretty sure it's eggs.
Yep, you might be right, baby. Yeah, it looks like three 24-count flats of eggs side by side.
They were stacked in there.
So, they get no.
Eggs are peaceful. Eggs are fucking peaceful. The goddamn cops are shooting flashbang grenades, tear gas, pepper spray, and rubber bullets when they're not using regular live ammo. Okay? Yeah, fucking eggs are peaceful. Figure it out, dumbass. Jesus, what is wrong with you people?
So they shot a girl on her roof today in Ohio. This girl was, she'd had an altercation in a hospital over a mask on Friday. And then she was released apparently over the weekend, and they sent a bunch of cops to do some kind of a wellness check on her, and she refused entry. And apparently, after tear gas was fired or something, she shot 2 cops in Ohio, and then she went up on her roof, and they shot her while she was unarmed, as far as I know, on her roof.
Yeah.
I don't know what her condition is, but she's some kind of weird activist that's into child molestation and child abduction rings, and the underground child network in Ohio. And
a lot of people with mental issues are drawn to that shit.
Say what?
A lot of people with mental issues are drawn to that.
Yeah, I agree. I stay out of it. Therefore, I have no mental issues.
That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down if you can avoid it.
So I listened to, 20, 30 minutes of it, and it was just this weird-ass standoff and some weird thing that happened, and I could tell she was a little off-center, as far mentally and stuff. But considering it was over a mask originally, and I just thought I'd mention it. But it might hit the news, the national news. It might not. I'm not sure. But
it sounds like a good story. I'll look and see if I can find anything about it.
Yeah, one weird detail was the judge whose son was killed and whose husband was shot.
Yeah.
She was also on the. She was mentioned in conjunction with the child trafficking case. Apparently, she was assigned it some time ago or something like that. So I don't know. And I'm sure you've heard by now that the person that shot the judge's family, that killed the son and wounded the husband, was a lawyer, right? And
we played that story last night.
Yeah, okay. So there might be some legitimate connection to the supposed child trafficking case in Ohio and that judge and the lawyer, but I don't know. I'm not even going to look into it. I'm going to wait for it to pop up on some kind of credible media before I take a second look at it, because right now it's just an isolated incident with some coincidences going on, but it happened in Ohio, and it happened today, and it happened live on YouTube and live on Facebook, and they shut her YouTube channel down in real time, live, and it was about a 2-hour standoff. So we'll see. I just thought, look into it if you got time. It's something, but it might be nothing. Might just be another nut job on a roof. But she was wearing a gas mask in her house and had a live stream going out on YouTube and Facebook, and everything was like mirrored and recorded.
You said they were deploying tear gas, so.
Yeah, they were deploying tear gas. Yeah.
I mean, I would have if I had that, I would do. Oh, you mean she was wearing just a regular mask? No,
she had a full-on gas mask.
Oh, okay.
She was talking through the gas mask on the live stream. It was pretty. It was kind of reminiscent of Waco a little bit, except in Waco they didn't have mass media or cell phones and stuff. So
a live stream would have been awfully interesting, though, huh?
Oh, it's still available. You can.
No, I mean at Waco.
Oh, at Waco, yeah, right, yeah. Fuck yeah, that would have been awesome, but. I heard rumors that our fearless leader, Hillary Clinton, actually gave the fucking order, but so far as we know, it was Janet Reno, right?
For what now?
Well, there's rumors that have popped up in the last couple of years that Hillary Clinton said burn those fuckers out of there or something like that, but as far as I know, it was Janet Reno who actually gave the order,
Yeah, that would be, that would make the most sense, because, I mean, that person is clearly one of the power-hungry, need to prove that she's just as tough as any man can do the job, kind of person.
Yeah, talk about Yeah, Janet Reno kind of reminds me of a character out of Game of Thrones.
You really do like that show, huh?
Oh, I tell you, it's every bit as good as J.R. Tolkien. It really is. As far as TV shows, I think it's the best TV show I've ever seen, ever. And they went way off from the books. I've never read the books, but yeah, man, I would recommend it. It's a timeless classic. It's really well done, really, really well done. And I ignored it for the first 6 years, and then I said to myself, "What the fuck is Game of Thrones?" And I came across one video on YouTube, and then I came across another one, and by the second one I was hooked, and then I kind of pieced the story together, and then I ordered Hulu, and I watched the whole thing from beginning to end like 7 times, So I'm a nut for it. It's a really archetypal show. I can't say that I actually liked season 8, but I don't know too many people that did, because the guy ends up killing off all his characters, one by one, and it's weird. But yeah, I like Game of Thrones. It's a pretty good show.
I don't know. The only thing I really know about it is that it's kind of set in this medieval kind of setting, but it always seemed to me like it was kind of a softcore porn thing, and I really do not like softcore porn. I love porn, but I can't stand softcore porn.
Well, it's in that way. It's kind of realistic, It's not just because they got titties and ass every once in a while. Brothels have been a way of life throughout all of mankind in every society since the beginning of time. So
yeah, I agree. I agree. I think almost every kung fu movie they go to the brothel. I watch kung fu movies constantly. Almost every kung fu movie winds up in a brothel at one time or another. Like 80%, maybe 85% of them.
Huh. I didn't know that. I guess I haven't seen enough kung fu movies.
Well, I watch the ones that are before guns. I think that's why I'm drawn to the kung fu movies so much, is because I also think I like Chinese storytelling, but I'm so tired of guns and cars and fucking video, man. Just they've been done, all right? I've seen this a million fucking times. Oh, look, he's got a gun. Wow, I'm impressed now.
Yeah, even Vietnam War movies are way overplayed as far as action and bombs and realism. You got a whole spectrum of Vietnam movies, from Apocalypse Now, which is not realistic at all, to Platoon, which is perhaps more realistic, and then you got, Full Metal Jacket and everything in between. And now, if you actually pay attention to the Hollywood media...
But Apocalypse Now is a fucking great movie. It's a great fucking movie. Yeah.
But if you'll notice that it seems like the CIA is more involved in the movie studios these days, because they're putting out movies about Afghanistan, which aren't true, about Iraq, which aren't true. They in no way reflect the reality.
I think the Pentagon is spending billions of dollars in Hollywood assisting movie production. I'm certain of it. Yeah.
And the same thing goes with Steven Spielberg and a lot of his movies. He had Schindler's List, which is a totally bogus movie. It's not realistic at all. And then they just did another one about a trial that happened in Europe about a historian whom I really love, but I can't remember his name. And they painted him out to be the bad guy when he's actually the good guy. So, there's two subjects you can't touch. One is Jews and the Holocaust, and the other one is the American imperial war machine. It's like they're going to paint those two subjects. The forces behind those two elements are so strong. They definitely have a hand in Hollywood, because we can't have the American people having any realistic idea about what really went on in history. In case anybody's wondering, usually the victors write the history books, so it takes a century or more for the real story to come out, if it ever does. So, yeah, I mean, it's just weird. If you don't consider the Hollywood movies to be part of the media, part of the narrative-making media, well, maybe you should, because
if you don't consider it part of the mainstream, you're definitely confused.
Well, there's definitely forces in Hollywood pushing the government narrative, and
and they have been for a long time. I mean, they go into the war, any kind of a war effort. There's always fucking all kinds of propaganda that comes out of Hollywood. I mean,
even the NFL,
even the cartoons, man, even the cartoons, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, fucking
right, yeah,
Bugs Bunny, Porky.
Disney Studios was the first studio the CIA ever infiltrated, and that was way back in the 50s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, but in the NFL in particular, all of the saluting the flag and the cheerleaders and America, America, and all that bullshit. And you got that guy Colin Kaepernick, who he preceded and presaged the whole BLM movement. He was kneeling for the very same purpose a lot of these guys are out in the street, and his whole career got squished for doing that. They said, oh, you can't have agenda politics in the NFL. Well, you've had government agenda politics in the NFL for decades.
Right.
So that guy got fucked, Colin Kaepernick. And, yeah, there are great and powerful forces behind the curtain that don't want us to know there's people back there pulling the levers, thunder and lightning and the great and powerful odds. They don't even want us to know there's a deep state. That's how fucked up it is. And as far as I can tell, the deep state might be more prevalent in the Democratic Party, but it most certainly is everywhere, not just the Democratic Party. And the deep state is behind this COVID-19 thing, which is the largest psyop ever pulled off on mankind. It's fooled the whole goddamn planet. And some chick got shot on her roof today in Ohio because she made a big deal about not wanting to wear a mask somewhere. Wellness checks, man. They're going to beware of the wellness checks, because they can wellness check your ass the same they can swat your ass,
Yeah, no, this wellness checks need to be done not by police officers.
Yeah. So keep pushing that narrative, Mike, because you got a lot of good ideas considering police reform and stuff, overtime, drugs. I think drug testing is a good one, because some of these, and psychological evaluations every so often, plus, people that got 13 strikes or complaints against them, maybe they ought to be checked a little bit more frequently. Maybe they got fucking issues. Maybe that might just be common sense,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Maybe they don't belong interacting with the public and would be much better off in a desk position.
Yeah. And now, you're familiar with the Hegelian. Hegel was a philosopher, so they call it a Hegelian dialectic. He came up with the theory of thesis, which I guess would be the protest. Well, what would it? No, the thesis is that the police are too violent, and the antithesis would be the protesters come out in the street, and then the synthesis would be increased government presence on the street. So, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. So we're seeing that played out on the street. someone else can name it some different way. Maybe I'm wrong about the elements I'm listing, but we're seeing a scripted drama play out on the streets, and I'm all for the mayor and the governor of, the mayor of Portland and the governor of Oregon trying to keep the feds off the streets. And any other state, too, that's the last thing we need now is a military presence. It's okay to, line up 20 soldiers or federal officers in front of a fucking federal building, but you keep them on the federal fucking grounds, not on the sidewalk, not in the street. That's a no-no. That's when the people are going to say, fuck you. So maybe there's a lot of instigation going on here. I'm pretty fond of a saying that says, if there's a way for human beings to fuck shit up, they'll find it. So obviously Donald Trump's not the smartest guy in the world. I don't think he's making the right mistake. Making the right decision, sending all these troops to these various cities.
Well, we've seen what's happened in Portland. Is there was was there 30,000 people in the street last night? It looked like there was 30,000 people in the street in Portland last night.
And that's doubled since last week or something like that.
Oh, that's like probably the biggest crowd we've seen in Portland so far. It looked like to me.
Well, obviously, that's what's going to happen. We don't want federal. Everyone in America hates the federal fucking government unless they're a retard. If you're a retard, you love the federal government. So that's the wrong thing to do. So, Donald Trump is not showing off his IQ by making that fucking decision. I mean,
it's some kind of he's pointing out that all the big, large Democrat cities are being destroyed. That because it's the only places that he's sending federal troops to are cities that are run by a Democratic mayor, a Democratic city council. He's not doing it to any cities that have Republican mayors. So it's like this big fucking political. It's like some kind of an election bullshit, and if you all fucking support that kind of garbage, there's something seriously fucking wrong with you.
Well, yeah, there's going to be grandstanding and political ploys from both sides.
And you know what? A political ploy and grandstanding are one thing. Sending in federal police into a state that's telling them we don't want them here, get them off our streets, is bullshit. And then bloodying people's heads, hurting people. That guy that was beat with the fucking baton, the Navy guy. That guy is saying, I got a story here that says he has a broken arm now. Well, I agree. That's more than just a political ploy. But at the same time, it is a political ploy. Our fearless orange-haired leader doesn't even understand the Constitution. Even a beggar in the street has more knowledge of the Constitution than fucking Donald Trump. Because that's what we're talking about, is the Constitution. Get those motherfuckers off the streets. That's what the police are for. So let the governors and the mayors handle it. We don't want you, Donald Trump, and your fucking goon squad. I'm sure a lot of people disagree, but those are the people that buy the left-right illusion. That it's left against the right. Right.
It's not left against the right.
Right. So they think saying that makes you some kind of a Joe Biden supporter or something, which is idiotic.
Joe Biden is so retarded. He's not even going to speak at his own Democratic convention.
He's terrified. He's terrified.
They're afraid he's going to fuck up.
Yeah.
So, not Kucinich, the other guy with a K, a different senator is going to speak for Joe Biden because he's too retarded to speak at his own fucking convention. Basically, So, it's all a show, folks. And the truth of the matter is, it's the rich against the poor. That's what it is. And you're probably poor, so know your enemy. It's not the poor people who own the media. It's the rich people who own the media. It's not the poor people who own the corporations. It's the rich people who own the corporations. It's not the poor people that got all this power to lobby Congress. It's the rich people that got all the lobbyists in Congress right now. So it's the rich against the poor. And I'm not, don't call me a communist. Someday I'm going to have a conversation with Chris from Ottawa or where's
Olympia.
He from? Yeah, your buddy, the communist guy.
Olympia.
And
he's a Marxist. He's a Marxist. What? He's a Marxist.
Same damn thing, Marxist, communist. But, I want to have a nice, friendly, intelligent conversation with him since he's read Karl Marx and I have not. That would be interesting for me because he's an intelligent guy and he's a nice guy. And it won't turn into a shouting match. I just want to, that's one of my hopes is that maybe someday we can have a conversation on air because I don't want people calling me a communist. I'm not a fucking communist. Neither do I hate or fear the communists either. So, but the dialogue in the street amongst all the goldfish people, the people who got IQs of goldfish, is it's the left against the right, it's communism against capitalism, and some of the dumb fucks even say it's black against white, But the reality is rich against poor.
Yeah,
that's the reality.
And it's clear to see that for anyone that wants to see the truth. The reason we don't have a 21st century infrastructure project in this country is because the rich people don't want that. The people with all the money are like, fuck that. And they own all the factories. They deliver all the products. They're the ones saying they don't want a 21st century infrastructure because if they were saying, hey, where's our goddamn infrastructure, damn well the government would be all over it. So they're the ones keeping us from having that. And if you're good with that, regardless if you're good with that or not, know that they are good with that. They have no problem with it. And they're not even concerned about, delivery of your goods for whatever reason. I don't understand.
Well, even in ancient Roman times, it was the rich against the poor. Even in ancient Jerusalem, it was the rich against the poor. Even in the Dark Ages and the Middle Ages and during the Renaissance, it's been the rich against the poor. During feudalism, before capitalism was ever a dream, was ever a term, it was the rich against the poor. Throughout all of humanity, and now we're so populated on planet Earth that the sensible and honest and compassionate organization of human societies really depends even more so on the equitable distribution of goods and services to humanity because there's too much at stake. We don't want to repeat the Middle Ages, even though it seems like we're going back into it. So even pre-capitalism, it's always been the rich against the poor. And so new theories came along like communism. I had never seen communism work. I didn't see it work in China. I didn't see it work in Russia. China is now a capitalist country. Russia has been a capitalist country for a long time. So no book like the Communist Manifesto is going to convince me that that system, communism, is superior. It may be ideologically superior, but we want systems that work on the ground. And for my money, I'm sticking to the Constitution. It's a flexible document, and I want antitrust laws to be in place and enforced. I don't want YouTube to have all the power, Google to have all the power, the federal government to have all the power, corporations to have all the power. I want to see young people, I got an idea for a business, be able to go out there with a whole bunch of restrictions and taxes and inspections and start a business. That's what America is about. You hang a shingle up, you start making horseshoes, or you start making radios, or whatever it is. I mean, America should be an entrepreneur-directed country where we always were. Henry Ford, you name it. Just go down the line. we got to get back to self-sufficiency and less government intrusion into our lives. And you don't need communism to do that. What we need is a controlled capitalism and a larger middle, more prosperous, more free middle class.
Yeah, I don't think we really need any isms so much. I just think we need freedom, you know.
Yeah, freedom. I mean, if you think about it, who's the person that robbed you of your freedom? Was it your mommy, your daddy? Maybe a little bit. What about your brothers and sisters? Maybe a little bit. What about your neighbors? Maybe a little bit. But usually it's the fucking government, and that would be from your county government all the way up to your federal government. They're the people taking away your freedom, saying you can't have a lemonade stand. You can't. Your grass is too tall. They'll come out with a tape measure and measure your grass and fine you if it's too tall. You can't paint your house that color.
In the left-hand corner, in the upper left-hand corner, you see a guy with blue hair and an assault rifle, and another guy standing next to him with another assault rifle. That's a protest in Boise, Idaho, in case anybody's wondering what's going on the screen here. Go ahead.
Yeah, they got legal carry there, so that's cool. He doesn't look dangerous to me.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of people with blue hair.
Yeah, looks like he's the kind of guy that would, the media tends to sell us, the American citizens, really short on intelligence and the ability to interpret the Constitution and the laws and natural law. But the truth is there's plenty of people out there who know the Constitution, know the law, they value natural law, and they're peaceful, you know? So, fuck this shit. We'll see what happens. You got any word on the federal presence in Oregon?
Numerous mayors have signed some kind of a letter saying that we don't want the feds here. The Oregon Attorney General has filed a lawsuit. The senators in the Oregon Capitol have filed new laws, and in the Senate they're also an Oregon senator in the U.S. Senate has filed a bill to make it so that the federal officers cannot go into a city without the permission of both the mayor and the governor of that state and city.
Well, good. I hope that happens because it's a cut and dry case of federal overreach, and this has been argued time and time again in various courts. And anyone who knows the Constitution knows the feds stick in their fucking buildings and stay out of the streets of America. We don't want you. But a lot of people criticize Trump for, they say, mostly it's a political stunt. They use the medical situation for political purposes. Remember months ago I told you that I had read that there were inside people in Washington, D.C. that were saying they literally saw Democratic senators jumping for joy and saying, let's keep everything locked down. It's good for us during the election. Remember I said that months ago?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's still the same, and if you realize that's the dynamic, Trump wants to open up the economy, probably not so much for his own benefit, just because it's the right thing to do. And the Democrats seem to, and I'm not buying into the left-right thing, but the Democrats seem to want to keep the economy shut down and let us, eat rice off our $1,200. If you got $1,200 or unemployment, you can afford a bag of rice. It's like, that's pretty much on par with the Philippines, man. You think I'm going to last 5 months on $1,200? I don't think so. Miss Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, fuck you people. Get off your goddamn fake plastic knees. Pass another stimulus thing, and let's open up the goddamn economy, because it doesn't take a genius to realize that the whole COVID-19 thing is overblown. The death toll is overblown. The testing is wrong. The statistics are wrong. The infectiousness is wrong, and there's so much medical malpractice going on. It's not funny, you know. And we should inject those motherfuckers with some fake fucking vaccine first as guinea pigs. That's my suggestion. Fucking inject Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and all those freaks in Congress with the goddamn vaccine, and then we'll just watch. You know, we'll wait 3 months and watch. So fuck that shit. The COVID-19 is worse than the riots. COVID-19 is worse than the federal presence on the streets. COVID-19 is a real problem.
Yeah. Yeah, the way that the media and the medical industrial complex work together is really amazing to me.
It's yeah. If you can't see it, if you can't see it by now, with all the available information, if you got a fetish about a mask, if you're wearing a mask everywhere, and you're virtue shaming people for not wearing a mask, and you're locked down, and you're all afraid, and oh, I'm gonna die, and you're criticizing hydroxychloroquine when it's already, you know, just look at that alone. The media is against hydroxychloroquine, and it's been proven to work for 70 fucking years on multiple related or non-related diseases. And Trump is right on so much stuff. You know, Trump is a moron, and he's kind of a liar, but he does get some things right sometimes. So, you know, let's just open up the country and let's develop herd immunity, and let's stop fighting each other and eat the fucking rich. Let's fight the fucking enemy. The enemy is the rich, not the Democrats or the Republicans or the hippies or the gay people or the conservatives. You know, I'm kind of conservative in a lot of ways. You know, so anyways. Show me something interesting, Michael.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for the donation. That's very nice of you.
No problem. Take a bong hit for me, baby.
All right, well, I'll do that in a minute. I have video about the judge being attacked. You were talking about that, or I have a video about we're talking about something else.
Yeah, it could very much not be Jeffrey Epstein related. It could be that thing I mentioned with the fucking child trafficking. Maybe the lawyer that shot her was a child trafficker. We don't, you know, it's a little soon to jump to conclusions, but there might be a different story besides Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, you know, regardless, it seems like a very small world happening around Jeffrey Epstein and that judge and everything, you know?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The world's gone insane, so everybody stay cool. Okay, peace and love. Out. Bye.
See you, Mike. That's our buddy Michael from Southern California, and I have a video about Ghislaine Maxwell and the person who supposedly attacked the judge's home and is now conveniently dead. They're saying he's also maybe responsible for another murder that happened, I think, a year ago or so. So I'll play that for you, catch you up on that.
There is new reporting tonight in the deadly attack on the family of a federal judge. Authorities say the suspect was found dead, and tonight, is he connected to another murder? Here's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, authorities uncovering disturbing twists as they investigate the attack on New Jersey federal judge Esther Salas's family that left her only son dead and husband in the hospital. Law enforcement sources revealing suspect Roy Denhollander is also being investigated in the killing of Mark Angelucci this month in California.
Mark was an angel here on earth, and he will be greatly missed.
Sources say the gunman in Angelucci's killing was dressed similarly to Denhollander, wearing a FedEx uniform when police say he opened fire on Salas's 20-year-old son Daniel and husband Mark Anderl on Sunday. A 2015 case in which Denhollander, a lawyer and self-described anti-feminist, represented the plaintiff was presided over by Judge Salas before another lawyer took over in June 2019. Authorities seen removing boxes from his New York City apartment apartment. Sources say Den Hollander killed himself in upstate New York on Monday. The names of a dozen others were found in his car, including New York State Chief Judge Janet DeFiore. 2 guns and cash were also found, sources say. North Brunswick's mayor, a Salas family friend, says the town is in shock.
Every time I would ever speak with Mark about Daniel, Mark's eyes would light up.
David, sources tell ABC News Den Hollander had been diagnosed with cancer. Officials are now investigating whether these attacks were grudge killings committed by someone who knew they were dying. David.
Stephanie Ramos with us again tonight. Thanks, Steph.
So they really like, right? Normally these murders take a long time to get solved and figured out, and it's like they just wrapping this guy up in this tight little neat little package like a day after this murder happened. The day after it happens, conveniently they find him dead, and then they wrap this all up. It's about him. It's all about him. He's dead. He's the one. Couldn't be anybody else. Who's dying of cancer. Couldn't wait to kill the judge. Gonna die. Didn't want her to live. Gonna kill her. It seems like a very contrived story to me. Plus, the guy, he's dressed as a FedEx agent, right? He shoots 2 people in a neighborhood, in a very, very wealthy neighborhood, shoots them at the front door of their house, and then calmly walks out of the neighborhood. Calmly walks away. Most people who just shot somebody would have so much adrenaline pumping, they wouldn't be able to calmly walk. They'd be like, I'm out of here. I would think. That would be my guess. Having never killed someone, I don't really know. And hopefully I will never find out. So, if anybody wants to call, the number is 805-669-6397. It's 805 Mox News. We have Louisville, Kentucky in the streets. We have Portland, Oregon in the streets. And Seattle, Washington in the streets. Now, there is something going on in Portland. It's like they had people all lined up around this building. Did you see that? Like, it went all the way around the building. I think that was very interesting. Single file, surround the building. Nice. I must say I am most impressed by the Portland protesters. And yes, last night there was massive, bigger than, it must have been 30,000 people or more. I have never seen that many people out. I mean, we've seen them fill the park, we've seen them flood the bridge, but this was so many people. It was just, there was every direction. They just went on, just a sea of people. It was amazing. I don't know what the judge would do. If my son just got murdered, I would probably recuse the case because I would be too broken to be able to, pay attention to something like that. Right? Isn't that what you would do? I mean, something like that. I don't have a child, and that's partially the reason is I don't ever want to have to deal with anything like that. So I don't have to. Yay! Because I know that would break me. It would just be done. I just would not be able to function properly anymore. Not that I ever have exactly properly, that is. Is that a Corvette? Is that a Corvette? Looks like a Corvette. You got the Corvette Club out in the... Oh no, what is that? That's a 3-wheeler. They had some three-wheelers the other night on the live stream, and they were so lit up. They had colors, the wheels all around the wheels and everything. It was wicked. Those three-wheelers look very fast too, or at least that one. Are those two three-wheelers, huh? Anybody know what kind of car that is? Epstein didn't kill himself. And I remind people of that daily also. The simple truth is that somebody with that kind of a story to tell doesn't kill themselves before they tell that story. It's just not something that they do. So, you know, unless of course you're being tortured or something, because then, you know, it might do pretty much anything to get out of the torture. But, you know, again, people with that kind of story don't kill themselves. They rarely, if ever, go to jail. You know, I don't believe Ghislaine Maxwell is in jail. Yesterday, the clip I played, at the end of the clip, it was from Tucker Carlson's show, and he asked, and why did she come back to America if she didn't want to be arrested? Because she was out of the country. So why did she come back to America if she didn't want to be arrested? Right? So which I didn't know until yesterday when I played that clip for you guys. But all along I've been saying that I don't actually believe that that's the person that we see in all the pictures standing next to Epstein. I don't believe that's the person that is in prison under her name. Because I think it's some kind of a body double. They went out of the country, they got the right person, they had all the plastic surgery done, you know, and then she came back into the country, and the feds knew where she was for a year, according to the feds, and didn't arrest her. So again, letting the scars heal and all the bones, all the, you know, the muscle tissue and everything go into proper place. And boom, you have your body double. Her family gets paid $40 million, you know, and it's a done deal, right? Maybe she'll get out. Maybe she'll make it through prison. Maybe she'll get out, you know, and then she'll have something to celebrate with her family, right? But I don't actually believe it's Ghislaine Maxwell in prison because, again, why would she come back to this country? How does that make any sense to anyone? She has plenty of money. She has plenty of passports. She has plenty of connections. She has plenty of fucking Mossad connections that can get her anywhere and protect her almost anywhere. So why would she come here? Doesn't make sense. Probably didn't happen. And, you know, when shit doesn't make sense, you got to figure it probably didn't happen. So, that's what common sense tells us. I have another video, let's see, about a local political race in which a flyer has just been put out, and the flyer shows the two candidates in the political race, the local political race, and one of them is a black female, and apparently citizens, voters in that neighborhood where they're going to be, where this race is going on, are upset because the black female's picture was photoshopped to make her look darker in color than she actually is. I thought that was an interesting video, and I wanted to share it with you. So here you go.
Now, a flyer showing up in South Sound mailboxes appears to darken the face of his Democratic opponent, who is African American. Camera 7's Deborah Horn is live in University Place. And Deborah, you found out this flyer is not directly from the senator.
Monique, is actually from a political action committee, but we also found out that PAC has ties to the state Senate Republicans. And if you look at the flyer, it does appear that the Democratic opponent's picture has been darkened. The signs are all there. This is Steve Oban country. After all, the Republican has represented the 28th Legislative District for more than 7 years. But his opponent this year is Tawana Nobles, president of the Tacoma Urban League. And you have the flyer there.
I do have the flyer here.
Over the last few days, this flyer was sent to voters in this district. Someone sent it to Evelyn Fielding Lopez, a former executive director of the state's Public Disclosure Commission. She says the text is standard political fare.
What's different in this one is that the candidate that the mailer supports, Steve Oban, looks like a very light-skinned man in this picture. But what was really dramatically noticeable was the Tawana Nobles picture. Her features are particularly dark, both on her, around her eyes and under her cheekbones.
We put Nobles' official campaign photo beside the one in the Oban flyer.
It's a form of political dog whistling that we've seen for a long time.
Crystal Fincher, a political consultant who works with Democrats, says darkening the face of a political opponent who is black is as American as apple pie.
There's a lot of data that shows that when candidates are portrayed as darker, particularly Republican voters view them more negatively. And this looks like an attempt to appeal to that.
Search the database.
Lopez's research traced the flyer's PAC to the Senate Republican caucus as well as its funders.
I think it's disgraceful, and I think it's shameful, and I think businesses that put their money into that need to do some deep thinking.
One of those funders, you can see it right here, is the Washington Realtors Association. Now, they sent an email disavowing this flyer, and in fact, the senator disavows it as well. But one thing that I have to tell you is that this is perfectly legal. Reporting live in University Place, Deborah Horn, Cairo 7 News.
I thought you guys might be interested in that. Isn't Photoshop a wonderful thing? So we have Seattle, Washington, Portland on the screen, and Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, and Boise, Idaho is still in the house, which is awesome. And you can see in Portland they have like single file line here, which is surrounding this building. I would guess some kind of a federal building. Which I find very interesting. Social distancing. Look how they're all being responsible citizens and social distancing. Look at them. Aren't they great people? I love it. Look, we're not breaking the law. Don't shoot us. Don't shoot us. Don't beat on us. We're not breaking the law. We're social distancing. We're wearing masks. We're being good. Let's see. So I also have a video about the Seattle Police Union head has apparently been committing some type of voter fraud by not putting the correct address on his voter registration card for the last 7 years. That guy is a horrible human being. He's like, come on, bring the feds in. We need the fed. Why aren't the federal police coming into Seattle? What a douchebag. Such a scumbag. Because we want more mayhem in the streets. There's not enough. Do you know what's going to happen if they bring them into Seattle? Do you see what's going on in Portland? Oh my God. Shop less, fuck more. In case anybody didn't make out that patch on that person's backpack there, it said shop less, fuck more. Very nice. I need to get me one of those patches. Shop less, fuck more. That should be like the motto of life, right? Shop less, fuck more. Boom. Perfection. 4 words. Perfect. I love it. Fun camps. Ooh. I have a story about re-education camps in China. Did you want to see that story? Because that's what people want in this country, apparently. For all of these people in the streets, you want them to go to re-education camps, apparently, to teach them that socialism is not acceptable in the United States. Although re-education camps would be a form of socialism, just like the police, just like Social Security, just like the fire department. Just like the rich already have socialism, they get absolutely everything given to them. Look how responsible these people are. Social distancing, what good people they are. What's with the smoke? Where's the smoke coming from in Portland down there? Boise? What is happening in Boise? Words like that, labels are dumb. They're just like fear if it socialist, communist, fascist. They're just there to like people use them to attach to someone, and then they can disregard everything that they say. It's like a shortcut in their brain. Oh, now I know this person is one of those. Socialist, communist, liberal, wingnut, whatever. Whatever it is that works in your brain to where you no longer have to pay attention to what the person's saying. But what my point is that the rich already have socialism, right? If you're not rich, if you don't have plenty of money, if you're an average American who has less than $400 in reserves, you have to pay a bank in order to have a bank account. But if you're a rich person, you get the bank account for free. Not only do you get the bank account free, you get all the loans that they can give you at the lowest possible rate they can give you. On and on and on. It's just all made. The country, capitalism in general, is made for rich people. It's not made for somebody who has less than $400 in their reserves. Right? So, no, I'm not an ism. Isms are stupid. And no ism is going to resolve this. And this is a fucking call-in show. So if you want to talk, call the number below. It's 805-669-6397. I know you all have phones. I know that for a fact. So do it. 805 Mox News. What do you got? There's a lot of people on the street in Boise. Looks like they're having a good old time. There's a beautiful baby. Look at that big old beautiful baby. Whoa. I really love the protesters in Portland. They are committed, man. And again, these people don't want to be doing this. This is not their ideal summer where they're fucking standing on hot asphalt, making speeches, marching down the street. in sweltering weather. You know, this isn't what people want to be spending their time doing, standing up against a comply or die police state that's trigger happy, heavily armed, and cannot stand being questioned for 1 second. You know, the guy, the big Navy guy that got beat by the cops in Portland the other day, they said it broke his arm with the beating on him, wailing on him as hard as they fucking can. What was he said? He said, well, I have the video for you here. I'll just play the video for you. But I thought that was important because, again, you know, this guy, you know, he's a Navy veteran, you know, and he was simply asking the cops. He was standing there with his hands up, right? He's standing there with the cops up, and he's asking them, you know, how is it that, you know, how does this, the way you're dealing with the protesters, how is that in cahoots with the oath that you took to protect the Constitution? He was asking them about the oath that they took to protect the Constitution with his hands in the air, and they just start fucking wailing on him. Broke his arm. And they're trying to hurt him. You know, I mean, they're hitting his knees, they're hitting his wrist, they're hitting his hand. They want him to hurt for the rest of his life. It's disgusting that police officers like that are allowed to be on our streets. They are like rabid dogs, and you know what we do with rabid dogs. It is unacceptable and must end, and the people in Portland are going to drive these garbage out of their city, I guarantee it, with their tail between their legs.
We're going to turn next to the tense standoff in Portland, Oregon. New clashes tonight. Protesters facing off against federal agents there, despite the objections of the mayor and the governor. And now President Trump is reportedly threatening to send federal officers to Chicago. ABC's Kana Whitworth from Portland tonight.
Tonight, reports that federal agents may soon deploy to Chicago come as Portland is facing what could be its 55th straight night of protests. Overnight, demonstrators trying to break into the federal courthouse. It's just before 3 o'clock in the morning here in Portland. Things are still going. There's so much tear gas in the air that my eyes are burning. In a Nightline interview, the acting DHS deputy secretary saying tonight those security agents in Portland are within their rights to protect the courthouse.
This is a long established federal practice. It's well within the authority of the federal government.
But Oregon State is suing those federal agencies, and Chicago's mayor says they don't want those security agents, even if it's to help police fight crime and gun violence.
The Trump administration is not going to foolishly deploy unnamed agents to the streets of Chicago.
53-year-old Navy veteran Chris David says he suffered a broken arm at the hands of law enforcement in the Portland protests, and that he was shocked by his treatment.
I don't know who they are still. I don't even know what agency they are from. No names, no agencies, nothing.
David, the protests start out peacefully here every night and then gradually turn into chaos. The mayor tells me that it's the presence and actions of federal law enforcement agents that have led to an increase in violence and vandalism. David?
Kana Whitworth, who reported deep into the night for us. Kana, thank you.
Right, so she's saying it's like 3 a.m. in the morning and that the tear gas is still so bad it's stinging her eyes, right? Just imagine the people out that live there, right? This is a chemical weapon that's being dispersed in places where people live heavily. I mean, I posted a video Sunday night. They flooded the streets with tear gas. They literally flooded the streets with tear gas on Sunday night. It was disgusting, and I mean, and you would see cars like driving through this, like, you know, coming out of nowhere, and just like all of a sudden there'd be tear gas. You know, I guess it's not the way that things are supposed to be, and it's unacceptable behavior by any police. You know, and the Seattle police have been banned from using the tear gas because they were using it unprovoked on protesters. You know, peaceful protesters, they're using tear gas, rubber bullets, flashbang grenades. This is what was found by a judge who was reviewing the videos. Okay, so they were banned from using it. And you know that, I mean, we watched, like, I think it was Saturday night, or a week ago Saturday, a young man standing with a boombox over his head, you know, across the street, across from these lined up fucking stormtrooper Gestapo motherfuckers, federal police that Trump sent in to Portland, and the Portland mayor, the governor of Oregon, wants out of their city, wants out. So there's a young man standing there with the boombox over his head like this, playing, you know, like whatever song it was, you know, and they shoot him in the fucking face, and he has to go and have reconstructive surgery on his skull. Because that's the kind of scumbags that these fucking piece of shit Gestapo, stormtrooper, DHS cops are. This is everything that the DHS is about. Stormtrooper, Gestapo is exactly the way they should be described. In fact, the head of the DHS, the current acting secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Today, I posted an interview with him. No, excuse me. It was a press conference with him in which he stated that these people, these federal officers, are being called Gestapo and stormtroopers. Yeah, for a reason. They're being called, he said it was offensive. Yeah, imagine how the people feel when the Gestapo stormtroopers are fucking wailing on them. Is that offensive? That just doesn't matter. Right? Fuck you. That greasy piece of garbage needs to fucking move out of this fucking country right away. Because he doesn't belong here. Has zero respect for freedom and the law. And the Constitution. Fucking Judge Napolitano, the Fox News #1 constitutional scholar. What's happening in Portland is unconstitutional and unlawful and just plain wrong. I played that for you yesterday. Okay, you know, but whatever. Doesn't matter. They can do what they want. Those are stupid words. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not, you know, I'm not a conservative. I'm not a liberal. I'm not going to fit into some fucking box that you can go, oh, he's one of those. Look at me. It doesn't work. Whatever fucking square peg, round peg, triangle peg that you want to come up with, it doesn't fucking work for me. I'm not a peg. I'm not a clog. Quit trying to put me into that fucking shit. You know who's a fucking socialist? Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump has gotten every single thing handed to him, given to him for free from the time he was fucking 2 years old. Or from the time he was born. Every single thing's been given to Donald Trump. He never had to lift a fucking finger to do anything. Everything given to him. He's a fucking socialist. All the rich people are. They get everything given to them. Why would it be bad that the common man, the person who needs it most, gets stuff given to them to try and help them have a little better reality? And why do you gotta attach this fucking dog whistle word to that in order to make it so that So that, everyone needs to be afraid now. He's talking about socialism. Everybody needs to be afraid. Fear this man. He's talking about socialism. The fuck, man? So, I'm not sure where they're at in Seattle. It looks kind of familiar. Nice day, that's for sure. I had to set up a fan, try and cool this room down a little bit. I'm gonna go get a cold block of butter so I can get a dab ready for Michael. Because he made a donation and asked me to take a dab in his name. So I will. Even though it's not Dabs for Donations Friday, doesn't mean we can't do a Dabs for Donation on Tuesday by request. And that'd be very nice of anyone who would like to put a little something in my bowl. You can kick down for a pizza. That is super, super generous of you. Let's see. So I have a video about drug unit being disbanded. Filipino president, dictator. Let's see. Trump sends the feds. Oh, Trump COVID-19 briefing. How about that? Trump's first COVID-19 briefing in months.
And as we mentioned, the president holding his first coronavirus briefing in months just a short time ago. He stood at the podium alone without the doctors in view, and he was asked by our John Carl, where are they? And the president telling Americans tonight, when you're not able to socially distance, wear a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, he said, they have an impact. Here's Mary Bruce.
He's been downplaying the virus for weeks. So when the president today declared the situation will get worse before it gets better, it was a major about face.
But that's the way it is. It's what we have. You look over the world. It's all over the world.
It comes as the president's political advisors warn he will likely lose in November unless he convinces voters he's taking the virus seriously. Our latest ABC News Washington Post poll shows Joe Biden now with a 15-point lead nationally and a 20-point edge when it comes to trust in handling this pandemic. Biden today hitting Trump hard.
It's been reported by the president's staff that the president is, quote, not really working this anymore. He doesn't want to be distracted by it.
Today, the president out to prove that's not true, stepping up his calls for Americans to wear a mask.
We're asking everybody that when you are not able to socially distance, wear a mask, get a mask. Whether you like the mask or not, they have an impact, they'll have an effect, and we need everything we can get.
But Trump himself has been reluctant to wear one. Just last night at a fundraiser at his Washington hotel, wearing no mask. Today, the White House press secretary said that's because the president is tested multiple times a day. Our John Carl pressing the president.
Your press secretary said today that you sometimes take more than one test a day. Well, why is that? And how often?
Well, I didn't know about more than one. I do take probably on average a test every 2 days, 3 days, and I don't know of any time I've taken 2 tests in one day, but I could see that happening.
So Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill both said that they want to see more money for testing. They want to send billions of dollars to the states so they can do more testing. And you probably saw Mick Mulvaney the other day said that his kids, it took him a week to get test results back. He said this is simply inexcusable. Given where we are in the pandemic. Do you think we have a problem with testing in this country right now? And are you in favor of more money for testing?
We've done more testing by far than anybody, but those numbers will be coming down. I agree. I think it's a good thing if we can do it.
Are you in favor of more money for testing?
If the doctors and the professionals feel that even though we're at a level that nobody ever dreamt possible, that they would like to do more, I'm okay with it.
Now, notably absent from this briefing, any members of the president's coronavirus task force. And when asked why they were not there, the president would only say that Dr. Deborah Birx was listening in the next room. Dr. Anthony Fauci today said he was not invited. David.
Mary Bruce tonight. Mary, thank you.
All right. Okay, so I got a nice one there. Let's see. Looks like Louisville is marching down the street. Seattle is hanging out in the park. And Portland's got a whole bunch of stuff going on, it looks like. Look at that kid go! Dang, he is working it, man! He is all in on that little jig he's got going there. Woo! Look at him go! Dang! Okay, so what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? All right, we're good. Okay, so I have more videos that I'll be happy to play for you. People are made of water, dude. Need to drink water. Yeah, are you not aware of this? If it was LSD, I would be dropping it out on my finger, on my hand, right there, just a few drops at a time. Wouldn't be slurping it. Although that could be interesting. So, let's see. All right, so if anybody wants to call, the number is 805-669-6397. I am going to play another video here for you momentarily. I think we'll play one about the Philippines dictator, talking about how he is going to arrest anyone that has COVID-19 symptoms, the sniffles, sneezing, coughing, fever, or even not have symptoms. He's going to arrest them and throw them into jail. Because that's what dictators do during time of plague. And that way they get to kill a whole bunch of people that they don't like. So why on earth they would keep a dictator like that in a place like, in a beautiful place like the Philippines is something I will never understand.
In dealing with the coronavirus, Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte is threatening to arrest rule breakers. This comes as the government is trying to drastically increase testing to nearly double the current capacity and test a tenth of the population in less than a year. So far, authorities have tested over 1 million people. Health Secretary Francisco Duque told the cabinet they plan to bring that total to 10 million. Duterte broadcast his intentions to punish anyone who refuses to wear a mask.
Kaya we do not have any qualms in arresting people during times of health issues, pandemonium. You can, because it can be a serious crime.
The government previously said health workers and police will have the power to bring people with mild or no symptoms from their homes to isolation centers. The Philippines has the second highest number of cases in Southeast Asia, behind Indonesia. Cases surged after the government relaxed lockdown measures last month. The infection total is now above 70,000. More than 1,800 people have died.
Sorry, just went to the Bahamas there for a minute. Like, oh yeah, Bahamas, that does sound pretty good. Wait, what? Oh, Island Paradise, you know, gets all up in my head. Island Paradise? Oh, we should be making that happen. I'm gonna have to play another video and see if I can get the stutter on this feed over here to stop. Because it's making me crazy. So give me just a sec. You ready? This one's for you, Michael. Thanks very much for the donation. Very nice of you. And if anybody can kick down for some pizza money, that'd be very nice of you too. It's easy to do at moxnews.com, or there's clickable links in the text body of the video, or even in the chat. The fan is doing crazy shit with the smoke in here. Oh my gosh. So much smoke. Alright, I'm going to play another video for you and see if I can get that stutter out of the fucking live feed. Give me just a second here. What do we want to see? Let's see. Oh. The head of the Seattle Police Union, the head of the Seattle Police Department police union, the head of the police union, has been caught illegally using the incorrect address on his voter registration for over 7 years.
Several Seattle police officers, including the head of the union, are now being accused of possibly breaking state election laws. Investigations are now underway. KOMO's Jonathan Cho is live in Seattle with this developing story for us. Jonathan?
Yeah, Mary, was it intentional or an innocent mistake? These are some of the questions now being asked by investigators. On Monday evening, the county elections says they got a tip, and they're now looking into the voting history of 6 SPD officers, including Mike Solon. He's the head of the police union. A simple public records search on the county elections website shows the officers registered police precinct addresses in place of where they actually live and sleep. That is against state election law, which requires voters to provide legitimate home addresses. Public records also show Solon voted using the South Precinct address for the past 16 years.
People are not allowed to be registered at a business address. So you have to register with your residential address. If you're not, then we're going to work with you to resolve that, or we're going to hand that over to the prosecuting attorney's office.
Now, we try to get Solin's side of the story. I went to the police union's headquarters. I was told he wasn't in. Then, when one of my colleagues asked him for comment, Solin declined. SPD also says none of the other officers would be allowed to talk about this on the record. SPD says this complaint has been handed over to the Office of Police Accountability for further review. Mary, back to you.
Jonathan, thank you very much.
All right, so I'm not sure if we got that. No, it's still stuttering. I'm not sure why that is, but in the upper right-hand corner, it looks like there is a large march going on in Portland, and then in the middle of it we have the Seattle, and then there's a couple other interesting demonstrations going on in Portland. The one with the mic here, and then there's one where they're surrounding a building, single file, socially distanced, all wearing masks. Very interesting. I'm hoping the stutter is going to work out here in a minute, so just give it a second. Hopefully it'll get caught up. Arrgh. Very frustrating. But I have a couple other videos to play for you guys. And if anybody wants to call, the number is 805-669-6397. I'll see if we can get something else here momentarily. Let's see. Right. Oh, China re-education camps. I know that's what a bunch of you people want for these protesters, and it's so strange that it seems like you'd be much happier living in China than in the land of the free, to me.
France is speaking out on the persecution of the Muslim Uyghurs in China. This Tuesday, the message from Paris was clear. The imprisonment of ethnic and religious minorities in China's western Xinjiang province is unacceptable. France is now demanding that Beijing let independent human rights observers visit the area. Rights groups and experts estimate that more than 1 million ethnic Uyghurs and other Turkic-speaking minorities have been rounded up into a network of internment camps. China is denying what critics are condemning as ethnic cleansing.
A united front from the international community to condemn China's treatment of ethnic and religious minorities, among them 1 million Uyghurs who've been rounded up into a network of internment camps where they reportedly undergo political indoctrination in what's been dubbed an Orwellian program. France on Tuesday led the chorus of critical voices.
Nous demandons tout simplement à ce que la Chine permette l'accès des observateurs indépendants internationaux dans cette zone et qu'elle permette aussi à la haute commissaire aux droits de l'homme de visiter le Xinjiang en toute liberté.
The UK, for its part, is not ruling out punitive measures against those responsible.
It is clear that there are gross, egregious human rights abuses going on, which is why in New York, in Geneva, at the UN, we raised this with 27 partners. First time it's been done to call out the government of China for its human rights abuses of the Uyghurs, also Hong Kong.
Earlier this month, the US slapped sanctions on senior Chinese officials demanding an end to the horrific abuse of Uyghurs. And on Monday, Washington blacklisted 11 Chinese firms for alleged complicity in the repression. Now, Beijing has consistently denied any wrongdoing while imposing retaliatory sanctions on 3 US officials.
美方关心的根本不是什么人权问题，而是企图打压中国企业，破坏新疆稳定，抹黑中国的治疆政策。对此，国际社会看得十分清楚。我们敦促美方纠正错误，撤销有关决定。
The Chinese government describes the camps as vocational training facilities aimed at countering Muslim radicalism and separatist tendencies. Survivors and rights groups say those held are forced, often with the threat of violence, to denounce their religion, culture and language. Even prior to the latest report, testimonies detailed forced sterilization being carried out in these camps.
Sanam Shantae with that report. France speaking out over the persecution of the Muslim Uyghurs in the west of China.
I'm not sure if we worked that stutter out yet. It's still a little iffy. Very frustrating. But in Seattle, we have there seems to be a large gathering starting here in the park in Seattle. Up in the right-hand corner is a bunch of people in Portland, and it's growing. Going to get big. It waited last night until it got dark. And then everybody went out of their houses because it became much easier to be outside than inside, you know, unless you're running the air conditioning. Let's see. Oh, not that one. So, if anybody's interested, I have more videos. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to work out this thing with the stutter in the live feed. I may have to go to something else here because it's a little bit frustrating, a little bit distracting. I don't like getting frustrated or distracted while I'm doing this thing that I do so well for all of you. And if anybody wants to give something back, a little pizza money in my bowl would be very nice. There's clickable links in the chat. There's clickable links in the description box of this video, or you can go to moxnews.com, and it's easy to leave a donation there. It should take less than 2 minutes. So, and it's very appreciated. I wouldn't ask if I didn't need it. I promise. So, I think we are working on that now. We're going to get that resolved here. I hope. It looks like, to me, we're about to get that back proper. So, I'm going to give it a minute. And I have another video here about, let's see, Philippines. We did that one. Trump sends in the feds. Defund. Oh, okay. So I have a really cool video about how to it's not so much defund the police as reallocate funds to something that's more community oriented, less heavily armed than police, right? You know, again, in Eugene, Oregon, apparently for the last 10 years, they have something called CAHOOTS, C-A-H-O-O-T-S, CAHOOTS, and they respond to 28% of the 911 calls, the 911 calls, the 911 calls. They are unarmed. They respond to basically all of the non-criminal calls in Eugene, Oregon, and I have a video about not so much that, but another program that happens in Seattle where when someone calls for a wellness check, right? We were talking about wellness checks earlier. When someone calls for a wellness check, or if there's like a 911 hang-up call or whatever, they send a unarmed trained psychologist with the police officer. And the psychologist, I guess, you know, approaches things at first, you know, is there to try and calm things down or whatever. I don't know, speak to somebody that the police might not be able to speak to. And I think this is a very good idea. And although I like the idea of, you know, the CAHOOTS thing in Eugene, Oregon better. Again, that's been going on for 10 years. They're currently responding to 28% of the 911 calls in Eugene, Oregon, and they're doing it completely unarmed. They're going in, it's not their company with police, it's just these CAHOOTS people, and they go in and they, you know, try and render service. And if they need the police, they call the police. But, you know, they say like people with a mental illness, in this, I believe in this video, people with mental illness are 17 times more likely to be shot by police. And I've said that in the past, that people with unaddressed mental illness are 11 times more likely to be killed by police, not just get shot, but be killed. So I think that's important information, and I'm really glad to see that people are looking at other programs than just, the cops, because the cops are murdering people who need help, and that's not okay.
Many demonstrators are demanding cutting the Seattle police budget in half. But one city council member has a different proposal. Andrew Lewis wants to send unarmed behavioral health professionals to answer certain 911 calls instead of just police officers. Now, this idea was based off a program in Eugene, Oregon called Cahoots.
I really think that we should be making the investment in building out and scaling up a first response like this, and that it would make sense to fund it by defunding SPD and cutting SPD's budget.
Lewis says studies show someone with a mental health condition is 16 times more likely to be shot by police. And the numbers are even higher for people of color in crisis. Well, more police agencies in Western Washington are eyeing a similar model where armed officers are not the only ones showing up. KIRO 7's Michael Spears checked out how it works in Redmond, where police have a counselor who comes with them on 911 calls.
So I'll let you do the talking.
Susie Kroll doesn't always have the same partner.
And she doesn't have weapons or anything.
And unlike him, she's a mental health professional, not an officer.
Absolutely unarmed.
Their days center around 911 calls where social services are needed.
Officer Edwards wanted me to follow up with you and make sure that you're okay.
From mental health crisis calls,
she didn't stonewall me,
to homicidal calls and everything in between.
We're immediately offering de-escalation and referral to services, and there is a clinical eye at the same time.
The type of training most officers don't go to school for.
Most of the calls that I go on with my partners don't result in jail. They're not mutually exclusive. It's not jail or help. It's not help, no consequences. It's not consequences, no help.
She's been with Redmond Police now a few years.
This is about shifting a paradigm and a perception of law enforcement.
But does this same work in Kirkland, Bothell, Lake Forest Park, Shoreline, and Kenmore, on top of being on King County's crisis negotiation team?
Call for help shouldn't result in a person losing their life.
Some local activists want to see more Susies who can handle crisis calls without police, at least at first.
I would not go to these calls by myself. I don't think that that's appropriate. And there are numerous safety reasons.
Susie said a partnership with officers is vital.
And there are a bunch of examples that I can cite where, had I been there on my own, we would not have been able to save the individual.
And she said this model
check in with her.
Is working.
Saves lives, wholeheartedly.
Susie says sometimes jail isn't avoidable, but her work doesn't stop at the arrest. She tells us she will follow up with folks in jail and after the release to make sure they get connected to the services that they need. Reporting in Redmond, I'm Michael Spears, KIRO 7 News.
And in response to a protest calling to defund police in Bellingham, the city is planning several listening sessions. And now they're set. The first virtual listening session focused on systemic racism and possible reforms will be in a week on July 28th. Another meeting is planned for August.
Still have the stutter going on in the live feed, so we'll come back to that. We'll keep an eye on it. If something's happening, I'll be sure to come back to it, stutter or no stutter. We'll let you know. I just want to make sure everybody knows the people are in the streets. See, because for a long time, the media hasn't been covering this. They started, when it first started, they covered it, and then they went off the streets. And now when Trump sends in the federal troops into Portland, they're starting to cover it again. But it was off the radar. And all they've been doing is COVID-19, and garbage. But at least now they're talking to the people again. I see they have Portland moms on the news right now, so I'll get that for you in a little bit. But unfortunately, our live feed is skipping pretty hard, so I'm going to continue to monitor that on the side. And meanwhile, we'll have a lovely drone video for you. I hope. Oh man, no drone video. So sad. So let's see. We have that drone video. The other one, oh, we'll have to see if we can get that one working later. Hello, caller.
Michael, Michael.
Hey, Pete, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Michael. What's up, cocksucker?
How's it going, man?
Going good, man.
Right on.
Hey, man.
How'd your new gummies turned out? Pretty good?
Oh, fantastic, Michael.
You are so good at that.
Always fantastic. They're always fantastic. Hey, man. That cop is an example of the type of cops that I think we're going to see in the future, because I think police departments, they're going to start training like certain people like this. You know, given all these protests and demonstrations and whatnot, it makes sense for police to do this kind of shit. It completely makes sense. You know, because yeah, a lot of police, they're just, you know, they're fucking disconnected fucking assholes. You know what I mean? They get a fucking 911 call, and, you know, from...
They're adrenaline junkies. They get a 911 call and they immediately get their adrenaline rushing, and then it pumps more and more the closer they get to the you know, whatever it is that you know,
right. So the police very typically respond to calls. You know, in a state, you know, they don't respond to these calls correctly. They show up all hot, ready, trigger happy, ready to fucking go. And yeah, we need police like this that are gonna actually, you know, do what the police are supposed to do, which is, you know, give a fuck about the community and making the fucking community better. That's what the Pelosi. That's what the police were supposed to be about, you know?
Yeah.
But now they're just this militarized force that's fucking throwing us into minivans on the street. Well, those are the feds. But you know what I'm saying. You know, the police are supposed to help the community and make the community better.
Right.
And that's what I loved about that video that you just showed, was because that's a cop who's actually doing what a cop's supposed to do.
Showing care to people who need care. That's what's happening. That's what the cops need to do, instead of fucking showing up to be, you know, to fucking destroy. Hulk smash!
Yeah. It's sad, man. It's sad. And I've said this before, and I know you agree, but it's too easy to be a cop, dude. Like, when I was going to school, when I was going to community college, before I even went to state school, I went to community college because it was cheaper, right? And the credit transferred or whatever. And I would just see, like, literally, the cops, like the police academy students or whatever, would, like, march through the hallways and shit. And they would, like, you know, single file, and they would stand up straight and, like, march, and, like, and anytime they had to turn, it would be like a perfect 90-degree angle, and it was just really disgusting. And it's like, that's not the type of shit. This shouldn't be the type of shit that's taught in a community college. You know, if you want to be a cop, it should be above that. It should be, I think, that's what I think. I think it should be something that's like it should be like a prestigious position that is held with respect, and you should have to, like, work really hard to earn it, you know, and you should get paid very well to do it also. And you know, I don't think it's treated like that kind of position today in America, and that's why we have the cops that we have. That's why we have these shithead fucking meathead fucking jerk off fucking cops that do all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying, Michael?
You know, there's a lot of reasons why that we have the cops so messed up right now. You know, I think a lot of the reason is because of Congress. You know, all the laws that they fucking try to push that just are stupid, and they won't they refuse to move on from, like the drug war, But also cops have been able to get away with shit forever, and if they were as we like to say, held to a higher standard, as people in authority and positions of power should be and never are, then I think we'd have much better policing now. If from the beginning, if you wronged a fucking person's civil rights, you couldn't be a cop anymore. I think we'd probably have good cops. You know what I mean? But they just all fucking circle around and protect the bad cops. I mean, they literally protect serial killers amongst their ranks. Doing exactly the opposite of what they're supposed to do, making the community a more dangerous place.
Should I fix those real quick before I go to bed?
Okay. I think it's on their end.
No, the drone videos.
Oh, okay.
Your screens are all fucked up.
Who's yelling at you?
Craig says that my drone videos are all fucked up, and he's gonna see if he can fix those. We can't get the stream fixed, but he's gonna try and get the drone vids working okay.
Is Craig like working remotely from distant location, or
he just got out of bed to go fix his streams because he doesn't want to. He has to get up early, and then he has to fly to Spokane tomorrow.
fucking Craig? Craig, stop bitching. You know what, Craig? I'm tired of you pissing and moaning. That's all I ever hear you do in the background, Craig, is pissing and moaning.
Well,
knock it off, Craig.
That's not all he does. He bought me a pizza. He bought me a pizza tonight. It was really good, dude.
You should be buying.
I know. I just don't have any money, dude.
That's what I said. Hey.
What?
I wanted to say something else, but I don't remember what it was. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the policing, how you like the new policing.
Yes.
You think I'm not paying attention, huh, Pete? You think I'm not paying attention.
I like the new policing.
Yeah.
You're right. Hey, by the way, yesterday when I called and you were like, oh, well, and Craig wasn't there.
Uh-huh.
And then pretty much the only reason I called yesterday was because I wanted to, show the artwork that I had.
Uh-huh.
And then Craig wasn't there to do the Skype call, and he got all bummed, and you were like, oh, well, Pete didn't want to talk to me. And it wasn't necessarily true. That wasn't true. I just didn't really have anything to say. I didn't want to bog down the program.
No,
and
I was
hoping Craig was there so I could show the artwork, but he wasn't there. So
yeah,
I wasn't. I didn't want to hurt your feelings, Michael.
No, it's all good. I'm pretty thick-skinned actually. So what's going on in Rhode Island today?
Dude, we're doing what we do in Rhode Island, which is, we fucking keep it real. We fucking keep it popping. We got our fucking coronavirus cases are low, so we're fucking reopening, baby. We're fucking back in business in fucking Rhode Island, baby.
Well, that seems like a good thing.
Huh?
That seems like a good thing.
Yeah, bro, we're all fucking back because we're responsible here in Rhode Island. We all wear our masks like good little sheeple, and we wear our masks. And so, we were well behaved early, and now we don't have to wear our masks anymore. Actually, no, that's not true. We do. We actually do have to wear a mask, but our cases are low, so we get to chill, we get to relax. We don't have to worry so much. You know what I mean? It's good. I like not having to worry.
Yeah, not really good.
But we're keeping it real in Rhode Island, Mike. That's how we do. We keep it real and we work hard. You know, we're hard fucking workers.
You know,
but
I talk about the people of this country, of this great country, because as if they're good people, because I believe that they're good people. You know what I mean? That it's so weird to me how many people want to equate others as like you know, criminals and you know, just shifty types or whatever. You know, I mean, over and over again, I talk about the good people of this country because I know that's who they are. You know.
Yeah, man. I mean, since this whole fucking pandemic bullshit started, there's been a handful of people at my company, you know, and I'm sure this has been the case at companies around the country, you know, where there's like a handful of people where it's like no matter how fucking bad it gets, we got to keep working because if we stop, we're not going to get paid anymore. So, you know, we
there's other more important than things than that, really. I mean, there's people who, if you stop, other people in the world aren't going to eat, you know, because you got to fucking...
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what I'm saying, you know, that's... And you know, a lot of people are trying to say, shut it down, we should all stay home and just have the government fucking send us checks until we get a fucking vaccine, and that's bullshit, man. You know, we all gotta fucking work. Fuck that. We gotta work and fucking return to normalcy as much as possible. You know? Fuck that. And if you're the type of person who's afraid, and then you're the one who needs to quarantine yourself, you know? It's not everyone else that needs to. You need to. So that's how I feel about it. But yeah, bro, it's just like, you know, we're hard, we're grinding it out, bro, and we're gonna grind it out till the fucking end. You know, keep making that money, keeping people paid, keeping people fed. That's how we roll.
Yeah, well, I think that's what you know. There's a lot of people who are, you know, keeping the country moving forward, keeping us fed. All the people who work at the grocery stores and stuff, you know. There's a lot of people who have pharmaceutical needs. I mean, you know that.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Those people that gotta wear those fucking face masks all fucking day. Must be a nightmare to do it. Especially if you wear glasses, because I wear glasses, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I have to wear a mask, you know, it's very difficult to keep the fog out of my glasses.
Dude, you don't understand what it's like with this beard. The beard just makes the mask go like this, up and down, all over my face.
Yeah, especially if you have a big ass beard. It's like, yeah, a fucking. There's no point in wearing a fucking. Well, maybe if you have the virus, maybe you should wear a face mask. But yeah, it's not covering anything. You know?
Maybe if I had the right kind of mask, I don't know. Maybe a custom type of mask, I don't know. But I'm telling you, it just those paper masks don't work. This fits pretty tight, so, but it's not comfortable. I wouldn't want to wear this for more than just a couple minutes.
Nah, bro, you got a straight ponytail. You gotta wrap that big ass beard up in a fucking ponytail and fucking hairnet that shit like a fucking lunch lady, and then fucking put all of that shit in a fucking astronaut, like one of those big glass bubble astronaut helmets, and then you can just fucking go to the store like that.
I'd like to have one of those. I would love to go to the store in an astronaut helmet. That would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't.
Yes, it would. It'd be better than in a fucking face mask. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, right, bro. This coming from Mr. I don't want to wear a face mask. Now all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'll wear an astronaut helmet.
An astronaut helmet would be funny, dude. It would be hilarious. It would be awesome. I would love that.
Astronaut helmet and a beard net and a fucking face mask. Just super overkill.